Hi there, it's Richard Bowser here from Property Investor News. I'm here at London Excel Centre at the Property Investor Show in October of 2017. And this is the second day of the show, and we've just completed a panel debate with my interview here with Paul Higgs, who's well known to some of you as a land and planning expert and also a property developer. So good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon, Richard.
Right, we've spoken on a number of occasions when we did a video clip with you a few years ago at your old dairy site that you were just completing the development on over in West London. So we've just sort of had the panel and we talked about property development to about 35 people in the room. And we also talked about development financing options. But before we talk about that, what have you been doing recently, Paul?
So, same as ever, really. I've been, finding off-market sites to avoid the competition and hopefully time up at a good price.
Yes.
So, finding off-market sites and getting planning permission.
Okay.
So I've been sort of trading things for a while. I haven't actually not building anything at the moment.
Right.
So that's it, really. Obviously, I run a few courses here and there, as you know. I started something back in April with some of the guys that I've trained, actually partnering with them on, off-market development deals. So that's actually taken up a lot of my time. So that's it, really.
Okay, and just give us a couple of examples of the deals that you've been working with your partners on. What
well, okay, so I mean,
without going into too much detail. Of course,
okay, well, I can't actually. It's actually a bit like Fight Club.
Right.
So we have promised that we wouldn't talk to anyone about any of it.
Okay.
But I don't know if you know, the first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
Yes.
But I'll tell you about something I can tell you about. So basically, the last little deal I did, I think I put a post on one of the Facebook groups a while ago. So and I think we mentioned it up in the
room. Yes.
In the room there. So I tied up a little site in Croydon. Got an option to buy it for 400 grand.
Right.
Went away and got planning for it. Sold it for just under £1 million. So that was a 6-month 500 grand flip, which was nice. So that was the last sort of deal I actually completed on.
Right. And was that your own deal? Did you say, or was that with somebody else?
No, that was my own deal.
Okay. So basically, that uplift the value of you.
So good for you. So that was my last deal of my own. So the in terms of deals with the guys that I can't tell you about. So remember, it started in April. It takes. This is the thing about development, right? It's not really a super quick process, right? No. Now, if you wanted to go and buy sites with planning ready to go, you could that. I mean, I don't really call that development.
No.
You're effectively being a builder.
Yes.
So you're buying stuff. Anything with planning is going to have competition, so you're going to have to pay top dollar. It's never a good start. Then, of course, you've got to build it, and then you've got to sell it or refinance it and hold it. So, I don't really consider buying stuff with planning development. So proper development, proper deals, generally aren't quick. So as I say, I started with guys in April. Takes a few months to find sites, approach the owners in a very specific way, get a bit of a bite, negotiate the deal and all the rest of it, and then of course once you've done that, you've got to go away and get planning and all the rest of it. So we're now just getting to the point whereby there's a couple of deals being tied up and more coming through. So it's all looking good, but it's not a super quick process.
No, so the pipeline is sort of
exactly the pipeline is being filled.
No, I remember you when we talked about the old dairy site some years ago and the gestation period of how that came about, and I think from memory that was a site that you'd come across years and years ago.
Well, I mean, the first time I ever spotted it, when I first sort of started out, when I sort of graduated from smaller refurbs and conversions, and I started doing new build stuff, and I started looking for learning about land and planning. I first spotted that site you're talking about, the old dairy, about 25 years ago.
There we go.
Approached the people, then they didn't respond. Actually, I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, because I was learning by trial and error. And then about 5 years ago now, I was in the area, had a spin pass and spotted it there still as a vacant site. And this time I did know what I was doing, so I tied it up and developed it and all the rest of it. So, most things don't take 25 years.
No.
Obviously, there was a 20-year gap in the middle where I didn't approach them, but yeah, I mean, it's not a quick process.
No.
Obviously, it's quicker if you're introducing things to people, so you're just trying to get a fee out of it.
Yes.
obviously it's fairly quick if you're just trading stuff, so you're getting planning, you're adding value, and then you're selling it on. But then most of the time that's not that quick, because planning isn't a quick process, even if you know what you're doing. But then of course if you're holding stuff and you're developing it, you're building it out, depending on how big the scheme is, it's longer again. So it's definitely not easy money. It's definitely not passive income.
No, and I think some people maybe out there in the marketplace at the moment are realising that it's not easy money. In fact, it's a quick route to lose money if you get it wrong.
Absolutely. Look, I've said many times before, the thing about property development, the reason you can make a lot of money doing it when you know what you're doing is because it's risky business. It's like high risk, high reward. It's anyone tells you it isn't is lying to you.
No, well, we've seen an example in the recent magazine with someone that's obviously got their market timing wrong, and obviously you've got to accept the consequences of that. I mean, we've seen a sort of real interest in development in the last 2 or 3 years, and without naming names and without people are putting on courses and Facebook forums and what have you. It's as if property development is as easy as picking apples off a tree, and clearly it's not.
It's absolutely not, and it's not the thing where you can get a power team, and it just isn't. Development it's an active thing, it's a creative thing.
Yes.
Say it's not a passive thing. It's a very different mindset to investment.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah.
So that's it really. Yeah. I mean, it's like anything in life. Be very, very careful who you listen to.
Indeed. Well, Paul, the readers of Property Investor News, or for people that have come across us now, Paul did a series of articles for Property Investor News last year. We've got, I think, 12 articles which are part of our website. They're on different stages of planning, and Paul's focus, as he's mentioned already, is there's much more to be made at the early planning stage than actually physically finishing off the development. So all those articles are in the Property Investor News website, accessible by subscribers. So Paul, where do you think the market is at in terms of what should people be thinking about to de-risk if they're first-time developers at the moment? What are the sort of 2 or 3 things that you would advise people that are coming into development the first time just to think about?
Okay, so it's the same as it always is, really. Because development is high risk, you've got to do absolutely everything you can to de-risk it, okay? So that means understanding it very well, which means obviously getting properly educated around it from people that have been there, seen it, done it, and potentially or working with people that have been there, seen it, done it. It's too risky a thing to learn by trial and error.
Yes.
Right? Even though that's how I started out, which was a mistake. So learn what you're doing, get properly educated, right, from the right people. So obviously that always. The market is fairly flat in most places, I would say. I can only really talk for London and the South East, because that's where I do my stuff.
Yes, indeed.
I know other parts of the country are still sort of growing a bit and doing better.
That seems to be the case, the Northwest, Manchester, Birmingham,
but even putting to one side whatever's happening with the market, you've still got to analyse the shit out of stuff.
Yes.
And I said I wouldn't swear, didn't I?
We'll edit that.
So and de-risk things. You really have.
Yes.
So analysing stuff properly, de-risking it, getting properly educated. What else? I mean, be careful how you fund things.
Yes.
We just been talking about funding today. One of the things we didn't get talking about actually just didn't come up is there are a lot of lenders out there that are lending or offering to lend pretty high loan to values and loan to costs and stuff like that, talking about 90%, 100% and all of that sort of stuff. Quite. People need to be aware that some of the people offering those sort of deals are doing it because they know or hope that things are going to go wrong.
Indeed, I'm aware of this, and it's something that people need to realise.
They absolutely do. If, 90, 95, 100% finance. Oh yeah, no experience. Don't worry, guys. It's great. Too good to be true. It's because it is too good to be true.
And they could that could well bite you in a certain place. So all your hard work finding what could be a really good deal to be let down. It's
the same thing. Be careful who you learn from. Be careful who you borrow from. Be careful who you partner with. Be careful who your contractors are and how you manage them.
Yes.
You know, be careful.
Right. Well, I think we'll end on that note, Paul.
Okay.
So it's Richard Bowser with Paul Higgs at the Property Investor Show. Paul, once again, thanks for your time.
No problem.